The courtroom smelled like old wood and fear. Emma Wright sat in the witness box with her hands folded in her lap, fingers white at the knuckles, trying not to look at the man who wanted her dead. District Attorney Chen had told her it would be quick. Answer the questions. Tell the truth. Go home. But nothing about this felt quick. Nothing about this felt safe. The defendant, Marcus Huang, sat at the defense table in an expensive suit that didn't hide what he was. His lawyer whispered something and Marcus smiled, the kind of smile that promised things Emma didn't want to imagine. She forced herself to breathe. She was a paralegal. She'd seen the documents. She'd found the discrepancies in the import records, the shell companies, the money that moved like water through accounts that shouldn't exist. She'd done her job. That was all. She hadn't asked to be here. She hadn't wanted to see what she saw. But once you see something, you can't unsee it. Once you know, you can't unknow. And now she was the prosecution's star witness in a case that could put Marcus Huang away for 20 years. The prosecutor stood. Emma recognized him from the prep sessions, a tired man with a briefcase that looked older than she was. He smiled at her, the kind of smile that was supposed to be reassuring but only reminded her that she was alone up here. "Ms. Wright," he began, "can you tell the court where you were employed in March of this year?" Emma cleared her throat. Her voice came out smaller than she wanted. "I worked at Kelton and Associates. I was a junior paralegal in the corporate division." "And in the course of your employment, did you come across documents related to the defendant's business operations?" She nodded. "Yes. I was asked to review import documentation for a client audit. I noticed irregularities in the shipping manifests and payment records. When I flagged them to my supervisor, he told me to file a report with the appropriate authorities." Marcus Huang leaned back in his chair. He wasn't looking at her. He was looking at his hands, at his expensive watch at the ceiling. Like she wasn't worth his attention. Like she was already gone. The prosecutor walked her through the documents. Emma answered each question carefully, exactly as she'd been coached. She explained the shell companies, the falsified customs declarations, the shipments that didn't match their described contents. She kept her voice steady even though her heart was trying to break through her ribs. The defense attorney stood when it was his turn. He was younger than the prosecutor, sharper, with a smile that looked like it had been sharpened on a whetstone. "Ms. Wright," he said, "you've worked in corporate law for how long?" 2 years. 2 years, and in that time have you ever made a mistake, misread a document, filed something incorrectly?" "I'm sure I have." "You're sure?" He repeated it like it was proof of something. "So it's possible that what you interpreted as irregularities were simply clerical errors, correct?" Emma met his eyes. "No, the discrepancies were systematic. They followed a pattern across multiple accounts and shipments." "A pattern you identified. You, a junior paralegal with 2 years of experience." "Yes." The defense attorney smiled. He was enjoying this. "Ms. Wright, have you ever been threatened because of your testimony today?" Emma hesitated. The answer was no. Not directly, not in words, but she'd felt it. The car that followed her home from the pretrial hearing. The man who stood outside her apartment building for 3 nights in a row. The phone calls that rang once and disconnected. "No," she said. "No one has threatened me." "So you're here of your own free will, giving testimony that could destroy a man's life and livelihood, and no one has pressured you in any way?" "I'm here because I was subpoenaed." "Of course." The defense attorney turned to the jury. "Ms. Wright is a concerned citizen, a diligent employee. She saw something and she said something. We should all be so brave." He said brave like it was a synonym for stupid. The judge called a recess. Emma stepped down from the witness box and walked through the courtroom on legs that felt like they belonged to someone else. The bailiff opened the door to the witness waiting room and she slipped inside, pressing her back against the wall and closing her eyes. She'd done it. It was over. She just had to wait for the trial to finish, wait for the verdict, wait for her life to go back to normal. Except she knew it wouldn't. Marcus Huang had looked at her like she was already dead. She opened her eyes and saw her reflection in the window. She looked smaller than she remembered, paler. She was 26 years old and she just made an enemy of a man who imported weapons and moved money for people who solved problems with violence. The door opened. Emma's head snapped up, but it was just the victim advocate, a woman named Carol with kind eyes and a clipboard. "You did great in there," Carol said. "Really, you were clear and credible. The jury believed you." Emma nodded. She didn't feel great. She felt like she'd just painted a target on her own back. "What happens now?" Emma asked. "Now we wait for the defense to finish their case, then closing arguments. Then the jury deliberates. You'll probably be called back if they have questions, but for now, you're free to go. Free, Emma almost laughed. Carol handed her a card. If you feel unsafe, call this number. We can arrange protective measures. Emma took the card. Protective measures. That meant a patrol car driving by her apartment once a night. Maybe a panic button, maybe nothing. She thanked Carol and left through the side exit, the one the DA's office used to avoid reporters. The hallway was empty except for a janitor pushing a cart and a man sitting on a bench near the elevator. Emma didn't look at him. She pressed the button and waited. The elevator took forever. She could feel the man's eyes on her. She glanced sideways. He was Korean, maybe 30, dressed in a black suit that looked like it cost more than her car. He wasn't looking at his phone, wasn't reading a newspaper. Just sitting, watching. The elevator doors opened. Emma stepped inside and pressed the button for the lobby. The man stood. Emma's breath caught, but he didn't follow her. He walked the other way, toward the courtroom. The doors closed. Emma leaned against the wall and exhaled. She was being paranoid. That was all, just paranoia. She took the metro home, scanning every face, every seat, every shadow. No one followed her. No one even looked at her. By the time she unlocked her apartment door, she'd almost convinced herself that everything was fine. Her apartment was small, a studio on the 3rd floor of a building that had seen better decades. She locked the door, threw the deadbolt, and hooked the chain. Then she checked the windows. Then she checked the closet. Then she sat on the edge of her bed and put her head in her hands. She didn't sleep. Every sound was a footstep. Every creak was a door opening. She lay in the dark with her phone in her hand and Carol's card on the nightstand and told herself that morning would come. Morning came. Emma dragged herself to the shower, dressed in clothes that felt too bright, too normal, and made coffee she couldn't drink. Her phone buzzed. A text from her supervisor at Kelton and Associates. Hope everything went well yesterday. Take the rest of the week off if you need it. Emma stared at the message. Take the week off. Like she'd testified in traffic court. Like she hadn't just burned a bridge with a man who had the resources and the will to make her disappear. She set the phone down and looked out the window. The street below was the same as always. Morning commuters, a dog walker, a delivery truck, and a black sedan parked across from her building. It had been there last night. She was sure of it. Emma grabbed her keys and left the apartment. She needed air. She needed people. She needed to stop seeing threats in every shadow. She walked to the coffee shop on the corner, the one with the chipped mugs and the barista who always misspelled her name. She ordered a latte she didn't want and sat by the window where she could see the street. The black sedan was still there. Emma pulled out her phone and opened the camera. She zoomed in on the license plate and took a picture. Then she texted it to Carol with a single message. This car has been outside my building since yesterday. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. I'll have someone check it out. Stay in public places. Don't go home alone. Emma set the phone down. Her hands were shaking. She wrapped them around the latte and tried to remember what normal felt like. The coffee shop door opened. Emma looked up. A man walked in, Korean, tall, black suit, the same man from the courthouse. Emma's heart stopped. He didn't look at her. He walked to the counter, ordered something in a voice too quiet to hear, and paid in cash. Then he sat down, not close, 3 tables away, facing the window. Emma stared at her phone. Her thumb hovered over Carol's number. But what would she say? A man was sitting in a coffee shop, a man who happened to be at the courthouse yesterday. That wasn't a crime. That wasn't even suspicious. Except everything about him was suspicious. The way he sat. The way his eyes tracked the street. The way his hand rested on the table, fingers drumming a slow rhythm that felt like a countdown. Emma stood. She left her latte on the table and walked out, fast but not running, because running would mean she was afraid and being afraid would mean she was prey. She made it halfway down the block before she heard footsteps behind her. She didn't turn around, she walked faster. The footsteps matched her pace. Emma's apartment was 2 blocks away. Too far. There was a pharmacy on the next corner. She ducked inside, past the aisles of shampoo and aspirin to the back where the pharmacist stood behind a counter. "Can I help you?" the pharmacist asked. Emma opened her mouth. She didn't know what to say. She glanced back toward the entrance. The man in the black suit stood just inside the door. He wasn't looking at her. He was looking at his phone. Casual, patient. "Miss," the pharmacist said. Emma shook her head. "I'm sorry, I thought I needed something. I don't." She walked back through the store, past the man, out the door. She kept walking. She didn't look back. She didn't stop until she reached her building and locked herself inside. The apartment felt smaller than before. Emma pulled the curtains closed and sat on the floor with her back against the wall. Her phone buzzed. Carol ran the plates. Car is a rental, rented under a corporate account. No flags, Emma typed back. There was a man at the courthouse yesterday. Same man followed me to a coffee shop this morning. Korean, black suit, 3 dots. Then can you describe him? Emma closed her eyes. She could describe him, tall, maybe 6'1", lean but not thin. Black hair, short. Clean-shaven, a face that gave nothing away, eyes that saw everything. She typed it out. Carol's response took longer this time. Stay inside. I'm sending an officer to your location. Emma set the phone down. She pulled her knees to her chest and waited. The officer arrived an hour later. He was young, maybe her age, with a kind face and a uniform that looked too new. Ms. Wright, he said when she opened the door. I'm Officer Park. The DA's office asked me to check on you. Emma let him in. She explained about the car, the man, the coffee shop. Officer Park took notes and nodded in the right places. I'll file a report, he said, and I'll make sure patrol swings by tonight, but unless he threatens you directly, there's not much we can do. He doesn't have to threaten me, Emma said. He just has to follow me until I'm alone. Officer Park didn't argue. He gave her his card and told her to call if anything changed. Then he left. Emma locked the door behind him and stood in the middle of her apartment, staring at nothing. She didn't leave the apartment for 2 days. She ordered food. She ignored calls from her mother. She watched the trial coverage on the local news and saw Marcus Huang's lawyer smiling for the cameras, talking about reasonable doubt and character assassination. On the 3rd day, her phone rang, unknown number. Emma stared at it until it stopped. It rang again. She answered. Hello, silence, then breathing, then a voice, low and accented. You made a mistake. Emma's blood turned to ice. Who is this? You should have stayed quiet. The line went dead. Emma dropped the phone. She grabbed her keys, her wallet, her jacket. She had to leave. She had to go somewhere public, somewhere safe. She opened the door and froze. The man in the black suit stood in the hallway, not close, 10 feet away, just standing there. His hands were in his pockets. His expression was calm. Emma's voice wouldn't work. She tried to close the door, but her hands wouldn't move. The man took a step forward. Ms. Wright, he said. His voice was quiet, even. We need to talk. I don't know you, Emma said. Her voice came out like a whisper. My name is Kang Min-jun. I'm here to keep you alive. Emma's mind spun. I don't. Marcus Huang has a contract on you, Min-jun said. 2 men, they'll move tonight. You have 2 choices. Come with me now or die in your apartment before morning. Emma stared at him. He didn't look like he was lying. He looked like he was stating a fact. Why would you help me? She asked. I'm not helping you, Min-jun said. I'm preventing a problem. What problem? You testified against the wrong man. Emma's breath caught. I testified against Marcus Huang. Marcus Huang works for someone, Min-jun said. Someone who doesn't want attention. Your testimony brought attention. That makes you a liability. But killing a witness brings more attention, so I'm here to make sure you disappear the right way. The right way, Emma repeated. She felt like she was going to be sick. Min-jun stepped closer. You can trust me, or you can trust that the men coming for you will make it quick. Your choice. Emma looked back into her apartment. Everything she owned was in there. Her life was in there, but her life wouldn't matter if she was dead. She stepped into the hallway and closed the door behind her. Min-jun nodded once. Walk with me, he said. Don't run, don't look back. They took the stairs. Min-jun moved like water, silent and smooth. Emma tried to match his pace. Her heart was beating so loud she was sure everyone could hear it. They reached the ground floor. Min-jun opened the door to the alley, not the street. A black car waited, engine running. Get in, Min-jun said. Emma hesitated. If I get in that car, I'll never be seen again. If you don't get in that car, Min-jun said, you'll never be seen again. Emma got in. The car was clean. Leather seats, tinted windows. The driver didn't turn around. Min-jun slid in beside her and closed the door. The car moved. Emma watched her apartment building disappear through the rear window. Where are we going? She asked. Somewhere they won't look. Who are you? I told you, my name is Kang Min-jun. That's not what I mean. Min-jun glanced at her. His eyes were dark, unreadable. I'm the person Marcus Huang is afraid of, he said. And the person who decides whether you live or die. Emma felt the words settle in her chest like stones. Why haven't you decided yet? Because I'm still determining whether you're useful, Min-jun said. He said it the way someone might comment on the weather. The car drove for 30 minutes. Emma didn't recognize the streets. They ended up in a part of the city she'd never been to, industrial buildings and empty lots. The car stopped in front of a warehouse. "Out," Min-jun said. Emma followed him inside. The warehouse was empty except for a desk, a chair, and a man standing by the far wall. The man was older, maybe 50, with scars on his hands and a face that had seen things Emma didn't want to imagine. "This is her?" the man asked. "Yes," Min-jun said. The man looked Emma up and down. "She doesn't look like much." "She put Marcus Huang in front of a jury," Min-jun said. "That makes her either very brave or very stupid." "I did my job," Emma said. Her voice was stronger than she felt. The man smiled. "Your job just made you a corpse." Min-jun held up a hand. "Enough," he turned to Emma. "Sit." Emma sat in the chair. Min-jun leaned against the desk. "Marcus Huang won't be convicted," he said. "His lawyer is too good, the jury is too scared. By this time next week he'll be free." "Then why kill me?" Emma asked. "Insurance," Min-jun said. "You're a symbol, you testified, you stood up. If they let you live, other people might think they can do the same. So you're going to kill me?" "No," Min-jun said. "I'm going to make you disappear." Emma stared at him. "What's the difference?" "The difference is you'll still be breathing." Min-jun stood. "You'll have a new name, a new city, a new life. You'll never contact your family, never use your real name, never come back to this place. And if I say no, then I let the men with the contract find you." Emma's mind raced. A new life, no family, no friends, no past. It sounded like death with a pulse. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. Min-jun was silent for a long moment. Then he said, "Because you did something most people wouldn't. You told the truth even though it cost you. I respect that. You respected enough to erase me." "I respected enough to let you live," Min-jun said. "That's more than Marcus Huang would give you." The older man by the wall spoke. "She'll need papers, new identification." "Accounts." "I'll handle it," Min-jun said. He looked at Emma. "You have until tomorrow morning to decide. After that, the men with the contract will assume you're in hiding and they'll start killing people you know until you surface." Emma felt her stomach drop. "My family will be safe if you disappear completely," Min-jun said. "They'll mourn you, but they'll live." Emma closed her eyes. She thought about her mother, her sister, her friends. She thought about the life she'd built, small and ordinary, and hers. Then she thought about Marcus Huang's smile in the courtroom. She thought about the man who'd followed her. She thought about the voice on the phone. "You made a mistake." She opened her eyes. "Okay," she said. "I'll do it." Min-jun nodded. "Good." He gestured to the older man. "Mr. Choi will take you to a safe location. You'll stay there until the arrangements are complete. Don't try to leave. Don't try to contact anyone. If you do, I can't protect you." "Protect me," Emma repeated. "You're not protecting me, you're erasing me." "Same thing," Min-jun said. He walked to the door and stopped. "For what it's worth, Ms. Wright, you did the right thing in that courtroom. It just wasn't the smart thing." Mr. Choi led Emma to another car. This one was older, less clean. They drove in silence to a building on the edge of the city, a place that looked like it had been abandoned and then forgotten. Inside, there was a small room with a bed, a table, and a window that didn't open. "You'll be safe here," Mr. Choi said. "There's food in the cabinet, water in the fridge. Don't open the door for anyone but me or Min-jun." He left. Emma sat on the bed and stared at the wall. She'd testified against a criminal and now she was a prisoner. The irony wasn't lost on her. She lay down and closed her eyes. She didn't expect to sleep, but exhaustion pulled her under, and when she woke, it was dark outside. The door opened. Emma sat up, heart pounding. Min-jun stepped inside. He was carrying a bag. "New clothes," he said, setting it on the table. "New phone, new identification. Your name is Sarah Park. You're 28. You're a freelance graphic designer. You just moved to Portland." "Portland," Emma said. "That's across the country." "That's the point," Min-jun said. He pulled out a driver's license and handed it to her. Emma stared at her own face above someone else's name. It felt like looking at a ghost. "You'll leave tomorrow night," Min-jun said. "Mr. Choi will drive you to the airport. You'll take a red-eye to Portland. When you land, there will be an apartment waiting for you. First month's rent is paid. After that, you're on your own." "What about money?" "There's $10,000 in the bag," Min-jun said. "Use it carefully." Emma looked up at him. "Why are you helping me?" Min-jun didn't answer right away. He walked to the window and looked out at the dark. "Marcus Huang is a problem," he said finally. "He's reckless, he makes mistakes, he draws attention. People like him don't last." "And people like you?" Emma asked. Min-jun turned, his expression was unreadable. People like me make sure the world keeps turning, he said, even if no one knows we're doing it. He walked to the door. Get some rest. Tomorrow Emma Wright dies. The day after, Sarah Park is born. He left. Emma sat in the silence. She felt like she was falling, like the ground had disappeared and there was nothing to catch her, but she was still breathing. That had to count for something. The next day passed in a blur. Mr. Choi brought food. Min-jun brought more instructions. Emma memorized her new life. Sarah Park, graphic designer, no family, no ties. By the time the sun set, Emma felt like a shell, hollow and light. Mr. Choi drove her to the airport. Min-jun didn't come. Emma boarded the plane with Sarah Park's ID and Sarah Park's ticket. She sat in a middle seat between two strangers and stared at the seat in front of her. The plane took off. Emma watched the city disappear below. Somewhere down there, her mother was probably calling her phone. Her sister was probably texting. Her friends were probably wondering why she wasn't answering. They'd find out soon enough. The news would report that Emma Wright had vanished. Maybe they'd call it suspicious. Maybe they'd call it a tragedy. Maybe they'd call it nothing at all. The plane landed in Portland just after midnight. Emma walked through the terminal like a ghost. There was a car waiting outside, keys on the driver's seat and an address on a piece of paper. Emma drove to the apartment. It was small, clean, impersonal. She unlocked the door and stepped inside. The bag Min-jun had given her was on the kitchen counter. She opened it. $10,000 in cash, a new phone, a note. You have one chance, don't waste it. Emma set the note down. She walked to the window and looked out at a city she didn't know. She was alive. She was free. She was alone, but she was alive. She thought about Min-jun, the man who'd saved her by erasing her. The man who'd made her disappear so completely that even she didn't recognize herself anymore. She wondered if he was watching, if he was making sure she followed the rules, if he cared at all. 3 months passed. Sarah Park became real. Emma got a job at a design studio. She made small talk with coworkers. She went to coffee shops and grocery stores and pretended she had a life. At night, she lay in bed and tried not to think about the life she'd lost. She didn't call her mother. She didn't text her sister. She didn't look up the trial results. She was Sarah Park. Emma Wright was dead. But sometimes, late at night, she thought about Min-jun, the calm in his voice, the certainty in his movements, the way he'd looked at her like she was a problem to be solved. She didn't know if she'd ever see him again. She didn't know if she wanted to. Then on a Tuesday morning, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Emma stared at it. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick it up. Hello. Silence. Then a voice, quiet, even, familiar. It's Min-jun. Emma's heart stopped. How did you get this number? I gave you the phone, Min-jun said. Did you think I wouldn't keep the number? Emma didn't know what to say. Why are you calling? Marcus Huang is dead, Min-jun said. Killed in his cell 2 nights ago. Rival gang. The contract on you is void. Emma felt the words settle in her chest. So I can go home. No, Min-jun said. Emma Wright is still dead. Sarah Park is alive. That doesn't change. Then why tell me? Because you deserve to know, Min-jun said. There was a pause. And because I wanted to make sure you were still breathing. Emma closed her eyes. I am. Good, Min-jun said. The line went quiet. Emma thought he'd hung up. But then he spoke again, softer this time. You did the right thing, Sarah. Don't regret it. The call ended. Emma set the phone down. She walked to the window and looked out at the city. Rain was falling, soft and steady. She thought about Marcus Huang, dead in a cell. She thought about the contract, void. She thought about Emma Wright, the woman who'd told the truth and paid the price. And she thought about Min-jun, the man who'd saved her by making her disappear. She didn't know if she'd ever see him again. But she knew he was out there, somewhere, watching, deciding, keeping the world turning. Emma Wright was dead. Sarah Park was alive. And in a city full of rain and strangers, that was enough.